Well, hello everyone. What we decided to do today is to maybe give you guys some background as to what we're trying to accomplish with our YouTube channel, with Rockford Raps on YouTube. This is David Soul. As everybody knows, he's one of the prime movers as to why we're here today.
Yeah, I am. I guess you could say that. Obviously Rockford Raps had been around for what, about 4 or 5 years, kind of on and off.
Rockford Raps actually has been around for like 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
It went all the way back to the desegregation lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, but I enjoyed Rockford Raps. I think that was a fantastic show. I think it did a lot of good things for the local area.
And, here we are, in our little neck of the woods in Rockford, trying to bring back what was once good, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, it's just a question of hopefully we can navigate through this new medium that we're working. Hopefully we'll get a comments page going. People can comment on what we've got. You can give us some ideas of shows that you guys would like to see. To me, as an organizing principle, what I want to do is put together content that people can look at this and they can come out of it smarter than they were going in.
Yes.
That they can say, you know what, I learned something out of that, and now I'm more informed and better informed than what I was before. And I think that the Stottleman content that we've already got posted, to me, fits that bill.
Yes, Senator Steve Stottleman, yes, of the 34th Senate area, or district here in our area. He was gracious enough to grant you an interview, and it was a really good interview.
Yeah, he started off, as you guys remember, he goes, well, how long is this going to be? And I said, well, I don't know, Steve, 15, 20 minutes if that's all you need. And he ended up going 45 minutes because, I actually think that a lot of these politicians and leaders don't get a chance to fully explain what's going on in their world.
No.
We've got a local station that talks about we're digging deeper into the story. Well, not really. I mean, they've got a half-hour nightly news program, and they've got a lot of ground to cover. And they're lucky if they do 4 minutes on it.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the TV stations. Yeah. Well, no, for sure.
TV stations.
And hopefully, as time goes by, you or I or and others, who might make comments and get the word out. We can, we can get those interviews with our elected officials and maybe some small business owners, people who are just active, political activists even. Right. Take your pick, or maybe even one of each at the same time, which might be interesting.
Well, to give you guys I know there are some ideas that are floating around in my head. Certainly it's the election season, and while that's a national thing, it really is nice to be able to have that conversation on that local level and see how local people at the real granular level.
Yes, and actually I do actually have a little bit of insight on that, being that I have run for local office before, ran for county board a couple years ago.
Sure.
Even at the local level, money in politics is still a problem. I had to spend over $3,000 just to have a halfway decent campaign, and that's just for county board.
I spent a bunch of money on school board run, and that's a non-paying position.
Non-paying.
So that's another issue we could get into. But during this election season, I think we can have some very good conversations between Bernie supporters and Hillary supporters. I'm also working on
Trump supporters, perhaps.
Which
would be interesting.
I'm actually working on that right now. I've got a precinct committeeman on the Republican side, and I'm not going to mention his name now because it may not come to fruition. But I really want to see that conversation between the establishment Republicans and the insurgents and try to understand that dynamic. I think that would be a very interesting conversation as well.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I really need to have them at the table, because you and I can't have that analysis.
No.
Because we're talking about somebody else's gig. It's sort of like you're trying to hear. I'll give you Christians trying to talk about the Muslim religion. They never know what they're talking about because they're not Muslim. Yeah. And atheists trying to describe the Christian religion because they don't know what they're talking about because they're not Christian. So I don't
unless of course they happen to have been one or the other, and then they switched over.
Right.
Then maybe they have some insight.
But for that's why I really want to see the Republican people describing their own thing and having a conversation there. So I'm really hoping to have good conversations like that, so that it's not the the basic drivel that you tend to see out there.
True, and anyone who's already watched up to this point, and who's already, who's now watching us have this conversation, that perhaps they could contact any of us.
Sure.
About wanting to be, in on the show, become an interviewee or
Right.
a guest host, or guest host perhaps even, or just.
Well, that is what we're kind of looking to do, is to having rotating guests that could come on to talk about various things. So we're going to try to build that whole thing. But I'm really excited about this whole thing. One other person that we need to mention, she's not here right now, but I reached out to Diana Chandler, and she, who also worked with me quite a bit on Rockford Raps, Lady Di, as all of you, as some of the Raps fans would remember. And she's going to be a part of this. And, in the meantime, we did do a little panel on the Democratic Party debate.
We did.
And so hopefully we can do some more of that, and perhaps even get to the point where we've got, kind of an audience involvement sort of thing. We're thinking like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with thinking ahead. I mean, again, this is where, hopefully anyone watching at this moment is starting to, get some ideas, and they can shoot them our way, whether it be in the comments section, of this video, or, our email, whatever the case may be. We can certainly, use a little, help and insight and some fresh eyes, so to speak.
Right.
And then we'll see where this show goes, because obviously with what you and Mike Williams had, it was a good show. I mean, he was obviously a little bit more conservative than you, but it worked out well.
Yeah,
and he had some really good conversations, and good interviews, and just a lot of good times, even though it was only 2 hours on Saturday mornings.
Yep, we got 2 hours on Saturday mornings, and that was and this is going to be a very different meeting, because it's a whole different thing to just go to the studio for 2 hours, kind of do your thing and go. This takes a lot more work and producing.
Yes. Well, it's also, radio was just your voice. Right. Now it's video as well.
Oh my
on top
gosh,
of that.
I'm going to have to start doing my push-ups, as you can see, for crying out loud. But that's going to be a different thing. So I don't think we're going to be uploading content every week. I just don't see that. There's so much work in between. I'm hoping we can do every 2, maybe 3 weeks, because to me it's not about quantity, it's about, are we doing something good?
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. And, we, would just try and get a hold of as many people as we can, bring them on, and hopefully it'll work out in the end like that. And then it'll grow, and we'll see.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to working with you and seeing this project through. I want to ask all the viewers to, one thing you can do to really help us is to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That gives us a lot more access and ability to grow the show. So please subscribe, and hopefully we can put some content that you can enjoy. And do look at the Stottleman interview. Again, I want to toot my horn on that, because if you're interested in understanding what's going on in Springfield with the budget issues, you get a really good view of how one policymaker is thinking through these things on his, how does he work through this issue. And whether you agree with him or not, it's so important to understand how these people are thinking things through.
I would also say, on top of subscribing to the channel, maybe copy and paste the link and share it amongst your friends, and other people who would have been Rockford Rap, and let them know the show is back on. Maybe not in the same context as it used to be, but we're going to try and resurrect the show, and the best way to do it, is so subscribe, and then copy and paste the link on your Facebook page or Twitter, whatever, or just talk about it and let people know, hey, go to YouTube. And I believe we have it named at the moment Jay Ware, I believe. I don't think it's actually called Rockford Raps yet. I think it's just under your name for the moment.
It is under my name for the moment, and we will keep working that whole thing out. So.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to working with you.